Hi, everybody. George Bliss, Softball Hotline. I have on the line with me one of my old partners from WCBR Radio when we did softball way back in the 90s, and he was a slam dunk, unanimous selection for the Hall of Fame. David Ruehl, how are you today, my good friend?
Doing well, George. Good to be here. How you doing?
Great. Now, a lot of people that are hearing for the first time the selection of David Ruehl do not maybe understand that you played major ball at age 17 out of high school for a major team, the Taggers. Take us from there, David, and go through your illustrious career.
Sure. Yeah, I caught an early break. Frank Cullen and Tom McCullen had saw me playing in a high school basketball league, and they ended up giving me a shot, and I started playing with the Taggers right out of high school. And took my break and got moving forward after that. So it's the Holland family, Oscar, they did a great job of showing me the right way to play the game, especially at the major level, which I was quite young. And then I moved over, switched and went to the Whips, and had some great teammates there that taught even quicker how to play the game the right way. A couple of national championships at the major level. And then I moved from the Whips over to Let Us Entertain You, and hooked in there with, mainly it was the touch guys, and myself and Johnny Keller had left the Whips, and we played there. I played there for about 8 years, and I think we won 4 national titles. So it was wonderful, and had some great times. And then we moved over to Mike North and Licorice for a couple of years, and won a couple of national championships there. So I've been blessed. I've been very lucky to be fortunate, to be playing with the top teams and the top players. And it's really was a remarkable career.
Well, you're up there, David Ruehl, and we're talking to the great David Ruehl, Hall of Fame inductee, slam dunk this year for 2014. Up there with the Kelleher's and the Frankie Mionis and the Wally Filkins for the amount of nationals that you've had at a young age. It's incredible, David.
Well, I think I caught a break, and it usually doesn't happen. Most people don't start that early, but, I enjoyed it. I wanted the opportunity to compete and play at a high level, and, just kept growing every day and always playing in the neighborhood. I think people forget that a little bit, but playing in the neighborhood with your buddies and, some of those things, you play 150 games a year, you're bound to get better. So that's another thing that I was committed to, playing in the neighborhood with some of my teams, the Highlights and the Jackmen and the Outlaws, and it was a lot of fun. It absolutely was.
Well, David, one of the things now, you've become a Chicago policeman, and I can hardly believe it. You only got 4 or 5 more years to go on that career, and then you can go much longer. But, what's it like out there at O'Hare Airport, going from probably one of the greatest shortstops in the history of the game, with the strongest arm ever in the history of the game, to being a Chicago policeman? I mean, there's got to be some skills that you use there, correct?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of the competition thing. I've been fortunate to be a Chicago police officer now 13 years and be a police officer for 21 years. And you're always, we say in the police game, you're always competing. It's a little bit of higher stakes than in the 16th softball, but you're always competing. I think a lot of athletes go into the police business because they still like competing, and it is a challenging job. So I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I've got about 4 more years to go, and going to retire and head out into the sunset, and maybe start golfing or play some 50 and over leagues. I hear that they have a lot of good stuff happening in Rosemont. Sal got that started, so maybe I'll come back out and play again, because I think the thing that I've missed the most with playing, it's not playing anymore, it's missing the guys and the camaraderie, and I think that's something we all kind of miss when we leave, and that's definitely my number one thing. I miss the guys.
Now listen to this list. You're going in with Danny Jalowick and Israel Sanchez. Can you imagine? You 3 guys could probably win a game on your own.
Oh, those are great players. I was fortunate enough to play with Izzy Zippy in '97 with the Red Dog and Wally Peck, and he, without question, is one of the best that's ever played the game, hitting, defending. So it was a pleasure to play with him and watch him play and compete against him, over the years. And Danny Joliak, the same thing, great hitter, excellent defender, and well-deserving, both of them, of being in the HOF.
Well, David, well deserved. I'm honored to have you on today in the hotline because you helped me at WCBR when we had the softball show, and you knew as much as anybody in the game about how the radio station works and everything. So God bless you, my good friend. We're going to see you in April at Drury Lane, David. It should be fun.
Oh, I appreciate it, George, and I think everything on the last note, I think, all the work that you've done, not just with the Hall of Fame, but when I was in my younger days when I got to meet you with just promoting the game along with the radio show and all the little things that you were doing, you absolutely made the game so much better, and I appreciate it like all the other players who do all your hard work. So thank you so much.
All right, David, we'll see you down the road. That's the great David Ruehl.